It has been a very long time since I've been in here. Um, how's it going? Uh, I haven't been here in a very long time, and I apologize for that. But I am back now, and we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. All right, how's it going, everybody? We got a lot to talk about today. I am feeling much better than I was when I first had to postpone the podcast. Um, Still a little bit not feeling well, but I'm here, and I guess that's all that matters, right? Um, so we have to talk about our first thing that we have to talk about is the Super Bowl last night. But for anybody that didn't get the notification or didn't see me put on Facebook and Instagram about it, we've added more things to talk about the show on the show. So I've added TV shows to talk about. So if you guys have any TV shows you want me to talk about, we talk about it. I'm gonna be talking about the Royal Rumble from last week Sunday. Um, talk about some WWE on here, MMA, all that stuff. So it's gonna get more interesting. Hopefully, more people will come in here, and talk about TV shows, sports, all that good stuff. But we gotta start off with last night. Now, obviously, I'm a Steelers fan. My Steelers got bounced out in the first round by the Cleveland Browns, and the Tampa Bay Bucks is a team that from before the start of the season, when Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay, and I saw that lineup: Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, and then they added Antonio Brown. All of those, I said, the Bucks are going to go to the Super Bowl. They make it to the NFC Championship, and they go against my favorite quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, and I jumped off the bandwagon. And I said Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers are going to beat the Tampa Bay Bucks. I was wrong about that, clearly. And then, so they make it to the Super Bowl, so my initial prediction was right. And obviously the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl because I didn't see anybody in the AFC stopping them, not even my Steelers. And then I said that the Kansas City Chiefs will win the Super Bowl. I believe my prediction was 38-34. And I've gotten a fair amount of predictions wrong. But ladies and gentlemen, last night was an embarrassment. I was embarrassed to even go on social media last night. The Kansas City Chiefs did not even score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. I couldn't find Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce dropped his first pass of the postseason, and it was in the Super Bowl. Tyreek Hill was nowhere to be found. Yeah, okay, Patrick Mahomes had a little injury on his toe, but he's wearing cleats and he's wearing socks under it, I'm pretty sure, right? So it shouldn't be that bad. The guy was running for his life. He was absolutely pressured by the Tampa Bay defense, and Tampa Bay on offense was just an absolute machine led by Tom Brady. Tom Brady, I knew was going to have a good game. I thought Patrick Mahomes was going to have a better game, but clearly not. The guy threw for 200 plus yards. I mean, he had a pretty good game. He played pretty decent, but at the end of the day, the guy was still running for his life away from that Tampa Bay defense. It was just not their night. Clearly not their night, and it was the worst time to have an off night. The Super Bowl, the biggest game where people who don't even watch football, and you show up like that. Super Bowl 55. The young GOAT versus the new GOAT is what they called it, and you play like that. That is a complete, utter disappointment. Like, I've gotten to the point where I said I don't want to hear Patrick Mahomes in the GOAT conversation anymore. Period. I don't want to hear Patrick Mahomes in that conversation. Tom Brady is the GOAT. Without a doubt, Tom Brady is the GOAT, and it's not even close. From a talent perspective, like I've said, I'll take Aaron Rodgers as the GOAT. But in other terms, anything else, Tom Brady is the GOAT. And I don't want Patrick Mahomes to be in that conversation anymore. I don't care if he had a little toe injury because he's still wearing shoes, is he not? If he was playing barefoot, then I would have been like, okay. But he's wearing shoes, he's wearing cleats, he's wearing socks. So, and he can still move. We saw him run with the football. The guy went for 200 yards, almost ran for 500. So, there was no problem except for the Tampa Bay defense. They got absolutely pressured. Tyreek Hill, like I said, was nowhere to be found. Travis Kelce, who I said is the best tight end in football. And also I've said that I'll take him in his prime over Rob Gronkowski. And look how dumb I look now. I look like I look like an embarrassment today after what the Chiefs put on last night. The way that I've been talking about the Chiefs, obviously I don't the way, Monday, but I mentioned him in my story last night, how he's raved about Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, I haven't raved about him like that because obviously I took Aaron Rodgers as the MVP. But the way that I talked about the Chiefs, I said that they have the fastest receiver. They call him the cheetah for a reason, for crying out loud. They have the best tight end in football. And I said that, like I mentioned, that I'll take Travis Kelce over Rob Gronkowski. And last night, Rob Gronkowski scores the first touchdown of the game. And, I called Tampa Bay scoring the first touchdown, by the way. But I still thought the Chiefs would win the game. And then they absolutely collapsed. I don't know what happened. I haven't seen that in many, many Super Bowls where a team does not even, especially on the level of the Chiefs, led by Patrick Mahomes, the young GOAT, and the cheetah, and Travis Kelce, who, I love watching Travis Kelce play. Don't get me wrong. The guy's an amazing player. But what they did last night was an absolutely terrible performance. There's no getting around that. And, I saw a comment, if this were Lamar Jackson, we would be going even, this would be worse on him. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. He choked. Patrick Mahomes choked. And the whole Chiefs team choked. The Tampa Bay Bucks were ready, and the Kansas City Chiefs weren't. So, and yeah, Gronk whooped them. Tom Brady whooped them. Tom Brady came, and he's like, hey, Patrick Mahomes, you want to run the AFC? You want to say you can run the league? Well, I'm here now, back in the Super Bowl, and absolutely kicks him out. So, I heard people saying last night, how about them Chiefs? Because, we always say, how about them Cowboys? I heard people saying, how about them Chiefs? That's how you know you played bad. You played bad when people are saying, how about them Chiefs? So it was absolutely terrible from the Chiefs. Absolutely terrible. So, Patrick Mahomes, he can run with the football. But what can you do when you're absolutely getting chased by that Tampa Bay defense? People were saying he was running for his life, and that's what it looked like. The guy was running away like they were playing tag, for crying out loud. So, it was a terrible performance from the Chiefs, obviously. Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Bucks. But absolutely terrible, and I don't want to hear Patrick Mahomes in the GOAT conversation anymore. I just don't want to hear it. He doesn't deserve to be in that conversation. So, now, there's this one question. Are we likely to see Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady have a rematch in Super Bowl 56? I'll say it's likely. I'm not going to say for sure, but it's definitely likely because I think when you look at these two teams in the NFC, obviously it's tougher. Obviously you have Drew Brees who actually might retire this year, but still has the Saints have a rough defense. We saw that. I'm not going to say Green Bay's a threat. Matt LaFleur has absolutely, gotten on my nerves after that NFC Championship game. After what I saw in that game, not trusting Aaron Rodgers and kicking on that 4th and 1 was an absolutely terrible play call. I couldn't stand that. So for him to do that, I'm taking Green Bay out of the conversation. I'm not saying they won't make the playoffs. I just don't. If Matt LaFleur is going to continue to do that, I just don't think that they can go anywhere. So the NFC is harder, yes, but I think Tampa Bay still can get by. Tom Brady said he's coming back next year. Whereas the AFC is a bit easier. The Chiefs, they really have no competition that we saw it. you have my Steelers, who I'm not gonna say they can compete until they get a running game. As much as I hate to say it, the Steelers are not going anywhere with that running game they have. A JV team can beat their running game probably. So their running game is terrible. The Cleveland Browns, I don't know. I don't know about the Cleveland Browns because Baker Mayfield, yeah, he's been playing good, but he started playing good when Odell Beckham Jr. left. So I don't know what that chemistry is gonna be like. I don't know how it's gonna work out. I don't know if they have something going on behind the scenes, but if they do, they need to work that out because the Browns are a good team. My respect for Baker Mayfield has gone up. I expected them to lose against the Chiefs. We all did, but and obviously it was concerning the way the Chiefs almost lost to the Browns, but. And then you have, the Bills, obviously. The Bills, even though they played good, even though they made it to the AFC Championship game, Josh Allen is still young. Stephon Diggs is, still kind of young. But I just don't see them competing again for a Super Bowl as long as the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes are in the AFC. So I see the Chiefs going back to the Super Bowl unless something dramatic happens in the AFC. Maybe the Steelers get a running game or something like that. Unless something crazy happens in the AFC, the Chiefs might go back to the Super Bowl. It's more likely. So yes, it is likely that Mahomes and Brady will meet up again. But I hope Mahomes learned from this because the last time Mahomes got beat by double digits was in 2016 when he was in college. That's the last time he got beat by double digits. So I know Patrick Mahomes is focused now. I think he'll come back even more locked in than he was. So I hope this is motivation for Patrick Mahomes and the whole Chiefs organization because they need to fix some stuff real quick. Their O-line really messed them up. They didn't have much of that. They didn't have much of a D-line either. They didn't have much of anything, to be honest. Everyone didn't show up. They decided not to come to work on the biggest day. So that's all I gotta say about the Chiefs. Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Bucks. Tom Brady is the GOAT, and it's not even close. So now what I'm gonna talk about is something that happened last week Sunday. Completely different sport, the Royal Rumble. Now this is something new I've added to the podcast as well. So I'll be talking about this. It was a pretty decent pay-per-view, pretty predictable pay-per-view. The only two predictions I got wrong were the two Royal Rumble matches. I'm happy with the two winners. I'm happy with Bianca Belair and Edge winning. Those were the only ones that made sense, to be honest. I thought my prediction for the men's one was Daniel Bryan, and my prediction for the women's one was Rhea Ripley. But in my thoughts, I thought Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns was the only thing that made sense. But Edge versus Roman, I wouldn't mind seeing either. So I'm happy with the two winners. Other than that, we had Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns. Pretty good match. Pretty solid match. I'm tough on ratings. I'd give it like a maybe 6, 7. Roman had to win. I didn't see Kevin Owens beating him because that just would have been dumb. I don't see what Kevin Owens would do with the title if he were to win. But Roman Reigns is obviously going to go to WrestleMania with the title. Then we had Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg, which I actually didn't mind this match. I really didn't mind this match because I expected this. Goldberg can't go long matches anymore. He can't go that far anymore. He never really did long matches. He never really did. It was always the short matches that he did. So I expected a short match. And for a short match, it actually wasn't bad. I liked seeing a little bit of the heel side of Drew McIntyre taking the cheap shot at the beginning of the match. I like that he took the first shot and it wasn't Goldberg because, it kind of would have been mixed up. That's just my opinion. But, I liked that match. Even though it was short, I know some people didn't like it, but it actually was pretty good. I didn't mind it at all. I knew it was going to be short, and they didn't really disappoint. We had Sasha Banks versus Carmella. It was Sasha Banks versus Carmella. This was actually a good match. A pretty good match. And actually didn't mind it. Even this was a pretty good card. It was one of the best pay-per-views they've had in a while. Because they don't make very good pay-per-views lately. I'm sorry to say, but this was a very good match. I expected Sasha Banks to win. I predicted her to win because if Carmella win, it wouldn't make any sense. But I really liked it. I really liked Sasha Banks winning. So, yeah. Now the men's Royal Rumble match. This was surprising. Very surprising. I'm forgetting who came out now because it was last week Sunday. But Edge won the Royal Rumble. And I was very happy because I really didn't see them having a winner coming out from the number 1 spot. I didn't see that coming. And then in the women's one, I didn't see them having a number 3 spot. Like, number 1 and number 3, I didn't think they would do that. I just didn't think they would do that. If they came out later, I probably would have picked them to win those Royal Rumble. Like, those would have been my picks probably. But I just didn't see WWE making the number 1 spot and the number 3 spot winning the Royal Rumble. So, props to them. It was those were the 2 matches that were unpredictable. Obviously, I know some people picked Edge. Actually, some people did pick Edge. I picked Daniel Bryan because Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns would have been ideal, and now they're just making Daniel Bryan look like a snub. They're just making him look bad now because he got beat by Cesaro on Friday Night SmackDown. But yeah. So it was a pretty decent pay-per-view. It wasn't bad. Obviously, I don't have everything in front of me now because it was last week Sunday, but pretty decent pay-per-view. So let's move on to some basketball. The Lakers are, they're doing pretty good right now. Anthony Davis is out tonight. But I like where the Lakers stand right now. I like how they're doing right now. I expected them to get off to a slow start, which they kind of did get off to a slow start. But I think after the All-Star break is when I expect them to start really picking up the pace. AD is out tonight against OKC. Yeah, it's not a lot to talk about today. I know it was very short, but yeah, Super Bowl last night was, taking over all the media, all sports, and I pretty much covered that. Royal Rumble was a pretty good pay-per-view, and basketball is pretty much just normal right now. So, yeah. That is all I have to talk about today. Actually, I'll get into some TV shows right now. So, for those of you who don't watch Riverdale, you might not like this part. You might not like the TV show part. But give me TV shows to talk about. So, Riverdale, this 5th season. I'm gonna talk about the 5th season because obviously all the seasons have passed. I kind of liked it. It had ups and downs. The first episode was pretty decent. The best episode was the last one that came out. It got me kind of mad when, spoiler alert by the way, if you haven't watched it, then I suggest not watching it because you are going to get spoilers. I got kind of mad when Jughead at the end was left alone. Obviously Archie went to the army, Betty and Veronica went to college. I think Betty went to Yale. I think that's where she went. I forgot, and I can't remember where Veronica went, but it was a pretty decent episode. It was a pretty good episode. I think probably the best episode of the season so far. Obviously, there's much more to come. I've seen part of the trailer for the next episode. Episode 1 and 2 was decent. They were decent episodes. So, yeah, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. It was a 50-50. It was okay. I didn't enjoy it, but I didn't, hate it either. So, yeah, there's not much to talk about on Riverdale. And I saw someone say Lethal Weapon, which I have watched. Lethal Weapon got bad. They had to cancel the show because of ratings dropped because they killed out Martin Riggs in the second season. They ended the second season. So that got a lot of people mad. It got me mad because I'm like, why would you kill him out? And I researched it. And apparently him and the guy who played Murtaugh didn't get along. And, he said some stuff that he shouldn't have said on set and he got fired and they had to kill him out. And they completely replaced him. What I would have rather seen is, you can replace Riggs, but I wouldn't say kill him out. I wouldn't say, literally like take him out of the show. If you had somebody replacing him with the same name, Martin Riggs, with the same craziness and all that, I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at it because Martin Riggs would still technically be in the show, right? It's the character that makes it a good show, right? So I wouldn't be mad at that, but they completely killed him out. So that's what got me mad. I didn't like that at all. So yeah, that's all. Now that's all I have to talk about really today. Not a lot of stuff to talk about. That, like I said, the Super Bowl last night is pretty much taking over the media. I should have more stuff tomorrow. I'll see what happens. Maybe some drama will happen tonight. Maybe some stuff in free agency in the NFL will happen. I'll talk about it tomorrow. But I know a shorter podcast. But yeah, it's not a lot to talk about, like I said. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. And my YouTube channel is in my bio for my Instagram, guys. And for my Facebook, guys, I have posted my channel on my Facebook page. So just scroll down. You should find it. I might pin the post so you guys can see it right away. But anyway, see you guys tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, come back tomorrow. I'm out.